Do you know that the way you watch anime exposes how you operate in your personal life? I've been observing the way I choose and react to anime shows and relating it to my life so that I can understand myself better, resulting in a heightened sense of awareness. You can also use it to understand other people. However, in this video I attempt to make wild assumptions on your personal life based on your anime choices and the way you watch anime. This is not a serious attempt, for I see that it is not wise to judge people based on something shallow. It is meant for merely entertainment and personal growth. Most of the assumptions are based on the reading I've done on psychology and the social circle that I've applied my observation and analysis on. How watching anime tells a lot about you. What must be understood first is that you as an individual human being are not that special. The same psychological and biological laws apply to you. Just because you happen to be from a specific financial or intellectual class doesn't mean that you are transcended from your natural tendencies. Second, each action you take or have taken is probably not the first time nor the last time that it's going to be taken. You see, the vast majority of our actions are based on patterns and habits. Those habits and patterns reveal themselves in your various tasks throughout the day with the purpose of making them efficient, which means that the way you watch anime is the way you do many things in your personal life. Third, artistic works reveal the emotional side of us. No one watches anime to learn academic stuff. We consume artistic works because they make us feel a certain way, thus reveal the subconscious emotional reactions that are programmed within us, reflecting our emotional triggers. If we observe those triggers in our watching sessions, we will get more awareness in terms of our drive, motives, and fears. Fourth, actions are motivated by needs. For instance, your desire to watch a show can perhaps highlight your need for entertainment, or even the need to distract yourself from your dark thoughts, or even the need to relate to something. Taking this into consideration, every decision you are motivated to take, no matter how small it can be, reflects a particular need that has to be fulfilled. Applying this principle in your observation can grant you an understanding of your needs and insecurities regardless of where you apply it. Anime length. Anime length is also an important signal. The threshold of your anime length choices reveals a lot. If you lean on one extreme side, it simply cannot be a mere coincidence. You should attempt to relate your watching patterns to your life's patterns so that you can identify if your hobby is a mirror to your habits. If you avoid watching very long animes due to your commitment issues, you might be telling yourself that you lack consistency when in fact you lack self-confidence. But in a deeper and more subtle way, you not only lack trust in your commitment, but also in the way you deal with self-disappointment. You know that any disappointment in life will be bigger than your resilience, making you avoid negativity by being passive in life and dimming your light. It might also mean that you look for quick and highly entertaining dopaminergic animes, which further exposes your easygoing and chill attitude. You lack patience and you are easily addicted. This tendency shows its fruits in your fruitless life. Sorry for roasting you. I know you're not used to getting attention. In fact, it could make you feel better receiving some recognition. It could be due to some basic reason as well, like you're new to the hobby or you're a busy person who wants to watch something quick after lunch or after work. On the contrast, there's a person who prefers watching something long and popular and has an already built reputation. People like that usually value quality over quantity, depth over shallowness, certainty over uncertainty. You prefer committing yourself to something legit and proven and dig deep into it, extracting gems from within. You value the meaningful moments in your life rather than just the joyful ones. This reflects itself in your social life as well, since you prefer having a small but strong social circle than having a wide but weak and hollow social circle. You more than likely value and hold true to your principle of loyalty and honesty. You see how every element can be an indication of one of your patterns? Your anime choice. Your anime choice is an easy window to your internal dimension. You gotta analyze if your enjoyment of a particular genre of anime is based on the feeling of relating to it or on the opposite. For instance, if you like seinen, it could indicate that you experience feelings and events that have to do with a mature lifestyle, making you resonate well with those types of animes. Or on the contrary, you might like it because you feel that your life is deficient from that responsible and harsh setting. Some people enjoy genres that represent the toxic hobbies that they can't accept from within. If you enjoy drama anime, it might reflect your tendency to gossip and create conflict between persons in social settings. Furthermore, it can highlight your inclination to ruin your healthy relationships, either romantic or platonic ones, because you can't stand order. You feed off of the chaos and madness of it all. You might like some genres because they reflect your type of personality. If you enjoy the psychological animes, it might mean that you are a sensitive person who loves to know people on a deep level before spending time with them in order to avoid getting hurt. You analyze individuals to classify whether they are a threat to you or not. This sensitivity makes you inclined to process people's expressions with the purpose of protecting your peace, which further indicates that you're an overthinker that has a careful attitude towards life. Each failure is a door to feelings of shame and self-torment. Pay attention to genres that you like to watch specifically because they remind you of your childhood or youth. They can mirror your habit of constantly trying to get back to the climax of your life whenever you reach a dark place in your life instead of building a new climax. Some people like to watch fantasy in order to escape the dull reality of their existence, especially if they prefer the transformative types of anime where the protagonist undergoes a personal transformation from a socially unacceptable situation to one that is socially idealized, such as Solo Leveling. This of course depends on the specific subgenres you choose to watch, because animes under any genre are not really equal. Anime theme. The theme in literature is the overarching idea or construct that is consistent throughout the piece. There can be multiple themes throughout a single work. Generally, there are bright themes and dark themes. From my observation and reading, people who enjoy dark themes are one of the two: individuals who lack power and influence in their lives. They know that they've been weak most of their lives and they let people bully and harass them constantly. They realized that they couldn't defend themselves, so in their solitude they made it not only a habit but a sweet hobby to fantasize about committing dark stuff to their oppressors. It gives them a sense of power, fulfillment, and a climax of pleasure, which makes them relate to those themes on a higher level and feel like they speak to him directly. The second scenario is individuals that have experienced a lot of emotional disappointment, or on the extreme side, trauma, to the point that they start romanticizing sadness as an attempt for the brain to protect them from biological consequences. If cruelty turns into something pleasurable and romantic, it will stop the survival defense mechanisms of the nervous system, making the body more relaxed overall. It's a mechanism that protects the individual at one point in time, but the downside is that it remains active even after the traumatic or damaging incident have passed. These people usually stay in toxic environments despite their inner disapproval, and they feel bored whenever they find themselves in a positive trajectory in life. It's like they are always chasing that kick of sweet bitterness. Otherwise, they have no taste for something positive. This, of course, applies to those who lean on the extreme tendency to strictly choose dark themes. Those of the opposite tendency might enjoy those positive and bright themes due to their conservation of the human purity, the childlike spirit that inherently looks for hope and joy out there. They are likely to have a heightened sense of curiosity and discovery, always longing for having new experiences and learning alien concepts, cultures, and skills. The other case could be the result of experiencing tremendous amounts of despair due to trauma, betrayal, or disappointment that they start looking for any source of hope and positivity in the world. They try to be decent human beings, and they try preventing people from walking the same path as them. They know the ugliness of darkness, and they avoid it as much as they can, which makes them fall into bad habits or addictions in order to ease the pressure. Types of anime watchers. The binger. If you're the type to, out of compulsion, binge watch an entire anime in one day or 1 week, depending on the length, it might be due to your compulsive nature, your inability to control your cravings. You are likely to be the person who either works really hard and loses himself in a workflow where you and time blend together, producing a miracle when you find a task stimulating, or a completely lazy person that goes through tasks like a pathetic broken machine, barely making it to the end during uninteresting and mundane tasks. The Rewatcher. If you rewatch your favorite anime series quite often, it's because it gives you an emotional experience unlike anything before or after, and you couldn't find a competitor no matter how many shows you watched. It might unveil the fact that you tend to be a clingy person in intimate relationships, and no matter how toxic your lover is, you tend to always come back to him when contact is established. You're also likely to have difficulties moving on. You get fixated on emotionally exhausting events, whether they are positive or negative. You also tend to take refuge in nostalgia whenever your life becomes tasteless. The Skipper. Some people skip filler episodes, some only skip openings, some people skip entire arcs. For the people that skip filler episodes and are very careful not to watch filler by mistake, my speculation is that they might be individuals who give priority to the fundamental elements of life. They always try to sort the foundations from the nonsense, only focusing on things that produce the desired outcome. The Completionist. From my observation, I've seen people that tend to watch as many anime series as possible, no matter if they actually enjoyed them or not. And they usually have low self-esteem. They do this in order to fit in and blend with people. They want to have something to talk about instead of being left out, meaning that they want to stay relevant. Their identity is not self-made, rather it's socially made. This type of person does not have value for social expectations and views set his identity and behavior. He's the type that functions like chameleons. When this type feels anger or resentment, he restrains from expressing it by burying it inside. Any betrayal from him shouldn't be surprising, for his love and friendliness is out of compulsion rather than authenticity. Active versus passive watching. Are you an active or passive watcher? In other words, do you actively analyze the anime you watch along with its characters, themes, and pacing? Or do you passively watch by being lost in the sauce, experiencing it with yourself as a whole unity? Active watchers are mostly people with high levels of awareness. Their awareness enables them to separate themselves from their experiences, viewing things from a third-person view. But that's not always the case, for it could be due to being a judgmental person that projects his own insecurities on others. These types of viewers are naturally very analytical and articulate. They can be intelligent or dumb. because dumb people can be analytical if they are insecure and broken. Some people can be analytical due to their intelligence. It's a natural sequence since intelligence requires rational thinking. These types are also good at pattern recognition and social observation. They have trouble with being present and with sleep as well. Passive watchers on the other side can be those who are authentic and easygoing. They don't feel the need to fake themselves or put too much effort to be liked by others. They are the type to always end up saying vulnerable stuff when they feel comfortable around someone and regret it later when they get home. They have a hard time controlling their emotions, which causes them trouble socially and sometimes professionally. They tend to think one-dimensionally because they hate overthinking. They either have a wonderful social life or a complete tragedy. Which pacing you enjoy? Some people's criteria for completing a particular anime is fast pacing. They cannot bring themselves to push through a couple of episodes until they reach the good part. The anime has to excite them from the start, indicating that they are careful about where they put their energy and time, and they have very high expectations, and it reflects itself in their lazy lifestyle. Their high expectations are a way for them to prevent failure altogether, successfully sabotaging their success while fooling others and themselves along by seeming high and mighty. They aren't like these pathetic peasants that have such low standards. Deep inside, their self-resentment grows the hole within. All the lack of accomplishment, fun, and beautiful experiences that they missed throughout life keep interrupting their restless sleep. And there are those who like slow pacing that progresses the story relatively slowly and keeps building the plot behind the scenes without the viewer clearly noticing. Out of the sudden, the main plot reveals itself unexpectedly, lighting up the story turmoil, revolutionizing the pacing watching experience. Persons who enjoy this more are usually the type to enjoy solitude and silence. They don't feel the need to always entertain themselves by shoving something in front of their face or by distraction. They love the simple things in life and feel a special tranquility and presence from those simple moments. They are naturally observational due to their tendency to isolate themselves, which allows them to enjoy the fine meticulous details that the majority simply cannot pick up on.